Ik eich satinil takat yuhan gonalchish hati adi. Ach tu ik ewuj in linget yuchatangi stultul tu ya yagitsa. Anchich kwa kuat aya yagi. Achwe taki tit kuaha. Achua ya taki tit kuaha. Ya dis shuka ya nach kuat a. Gagan khatin. Good to see you guys. Thank you for coming here. I'm happy that we're studying Tlingit together again today. And here in Anchorage, it's warmer. At least it's warmer than last month. And so it's as if spring has arrived, is how it feels to
Oh,
me.
it started 5 minutes ago.
And so I'm going to share my screen and we'll jump in. Khatko atie kugen khat yanik. Ade khat nai Johan. I'm a little bit sick today, so bear with me. And I'm catching up on the chat already. Lots of comments in here. Satan, if you're able to help me keep up on the chat when I'm teaching, I have so much going on that I rarely catch up with the chat. And then to answer the question in there so
Just
far.
opened it and pinned it so I can keep an eye on it.
Thank you. And then to answer the question so far, yeah, you can keep your mics muted until I ask you all to unmute and repeat after me for our pronunciation practice. And then go ahead and use the hands raise icon for questions. I also make a regular habit of stopping to ask for questions after I teach something. So if you don't hear me say that, go ahead and use the hands raise icon. Sound good? So let's do con el cheese. Okay. Ach tu gewuch kanach tu dia yagi neski yagi aya sig disi tleka kadi tleka kadi tlek yawahi dis. It's the third day of the week this week, Wednesday. It's the month of the black bear, and 21 days have passed this month. Last week was Elizabeth Pradovich week and Love Day. So we talked about history of ANBANS, Elizabeth Pradovich. I introduced some terms around love, and that was fun. It's been a week since we reviewed our content that we were on track for learning. And so today we're going to step back into it and also introduce some new material. So for review, we talked about asking someone their name, and go ahead and repeat these after me. Go ahead and unmute your mics. The first one, for asking someone their name, you're asking, how are you called? And it's repeat after me. Wasa iduasak. And then to respond, person B would say, I am called, and then say their name. The word order is different. So the order in Tlingit, you'll say your name first, and then say, repeat after me, you duasak. Yeah. So I'll say it with my name. Go ahead and repeat after me, but fill in the blank with your name. Let's do it. Nila Torah, you duasak. Good. So now we'll do it conversation style. You can see there's a person A and a person B. I'll be person A, and you all can collectively be person B at the same time. So I'll pretend this is a conversation just between me and one person, but you all are going to be person B together. It's okay that you'll all talk over each other and at the same time. The important thing is that you participate and I'll be able to hear you. So I'll ask the question, "Wasa iduasa," and you all can collectively respond for person B, name, yuha. So, wasa iduasa.
Harry
Dana
Good. And again, we're just pretending I'm only talking to one person, which is why we use this word iduasa. We'll talk later about how I would address multiple people. And now let's switch roles. You all will be one person A, and I'll be person B. So you can all say the top line and then I'll say the bottom line. So ready, set, go.
Wasa iduwasak.
Iduwasak.
Nila tova yuchatuasak. Uh, I wanted to share this. We're going to be building on to our conversation as we go. And when I looked through your goals, by the way, thank you for filling out the pre-programmed survey. Your goals in the survey help me stay grounded in my class content. And so some of your goals reflected your desire to be able to have conversations naturally. And this is what we'll be doing as we learn one more phrase each lesson. We'll be adding it on to our conversation. So that's the point of this exercise. Are there any questions on these two? All right, so as far as asking questions goes, um, let's look at the beginning Think It workbook, pages 38 to 39, and um, we'll review what we covered the 2 weeks ago. But before we do that, I want to show you, just so you can zoom out and see the big picture for questions, asking questions. That just like in English, there are a lot of different types of questions you can ask. And this graph is a nice, clear way to illustrate how you ask each type of question. So I'll walk you through it. But when I first started learning questions in Tlingit, I remember one day my teacher, Khune, just wrote them all on the board really quick. And I quickly took notes and ripped out my little piece of paper and kept it with me because I was really curious about, asking questions is a big part of conversation. And so I wanted to be able to recognize if an elder asks me, where am I going, or what am I doing, or who are my parents? I wanted to be able to pick that up. So focusing back in on our detail, the one type of question we're focusing on so far is a how question. So we've been practicing how are you called and how are you? And so both of these are how questions. And to use this graph, you just take the type of question and then follow it with the question particle sa. So wa sa lets you know right away when you hear it, you should know right away, oh, I'm being asked a how question. And so repeat after me. Wasa.
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 Good. And then your conversation partner will specify what they want to know how. So if they're asking, how are you called? You'll say, repeat after me. Wasa iduwasak.
Wasa iduwasak.
Yeah. Or if they want to ask, how are you? They'll say, repeat after me. Wasa iyatee.
Wasa.
iyatee.
Yeah, good. And so these are the two questions we just reviewed. Let's do them again. Repeat after me. Wasa iduwasak.
Wasa iduwasak.
Wasa.
And repeat after me. Wasa iyatee.
Wasa iyatee.
iyatee.
Yeah. And so just to outline and reemphasize the wasa part, I put in purple, and I also put in purple the English equivalent, which is how. So you're being asked how, in the first one, how you are called, and then the second one, how you are. Um, I know I said we're gonna go in the book, but actually I want to take you to some different examples of responses. So for wasa iyatee, uh, we have learned wasa for I'm fine, but there are actually a lot of different ways that you could be feeling, and this resource is really good for practicing different options. So the first one we'll do is disc 1, tracks 21 through 23 have a lot of different responses. And so we'll start with I'm okay, which is track 26. So we'll jump into this one. Yeah.
Not
I'll hit play and you can keep your mics muted and just repeat after Johnny. The speaker on the mic is Johnny Marks. He was Llukach Adi, and I never met him, but I think it's really cool that he jumped on the mic and recorded himself saying all these phrases. And I continuously use this resource for learning and teaching. But anyway, go ahead and keep your mics muted. I'm gonna play it and you can repeat after him, so I won't pause it or anything, and I won't hear you, but this is just for you to practice. Okay, so it'll be track 26. Let's go.
bad.
Kishwasa, kishwasa,
Wasa.
I'm fine.
Hatiyake, Hatiyake,
Not good.
Kishushka, Kishushka,
Good. So, let's practice these. I'll ask the question. Oh, we have a conversation practice. I'll ask the question, how are you, wasa iyatee? And you all can respond, wasa. So first, let's practice these two. Unmute your mics and repeat the top line after me. Wasa iyatee.
Was
Wasa iyatee.
And this double E is low tone. So in English, when you ask, how are you? Your inflection might go up a little bit to let your partner know you're asking a question. In Tlingit, it's a tonal language. And so if it's low tone at the end, you need to make sure your toe is low. Your tone.
Your toe is lone.
That's like the third time I did that this week. You need to make sure your tone is low. And okay, so
There's a couple, Anna, there's a couple questions in the chat. Someone wants to know if you can loan my toe. You can loan my toe. But also there are a couple of questions like on pronunciation and flesh.
good. Oh, good.
Is
Thank you so much.
wasa uti different?
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for letting me know. Okay, so let's for the first one for klesh, let's practice that. And the sound we're hearing twice in the word klesh is a singlet L. It's also called an unvoiced L. It's not a silent L, and that can be confusing between English and singlet. Uh, in English, we have silent letters. So for an example, the word height, what's your height? There's like a GH in the middle that we just don't pronounce when we read it, and that's a silent letter. It doesn't make a sound. The 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 L in Tlingit is unvoiced, so you still breathe out a sound. You make a sound with your breath, but you don't voice it. You don't activate your voice box, and I think that's important to emphasize. So the Tlingit L, to make it, you start with a voiced L like you'll hear in English, and pay attention where your tongue touches your teeth. So repeat after me, it's just an English voiced L. L.
L.
L.
L.
L. L.
Yeah. And now, to make an unvoiced L, keep the tip of your tongue there at the back of your top front teeth. And instead of activating your voice box, just breathe out the sound. So repeat after me. Yeah, good. So repeat after me this word. Tesh.
Say,
Good, that sounded good. Yeah. The last thing you'll do to focus on is this area around the corners of your mouth, your cheeks. You're just gonna kind of relax them a little more than you would when you say your English L. And so repeat after me. Tesh.
say,
Play. Yeah, good. And then the other question we had is, you guys sounded good. The other question we had was, "Tetwa sa uti," different. Yeah, and I'll show you the difference. Thank you for asking. So let's do a comparison. And I'll put question here. Do I'll put options here.
Anna, do you know, actually I can ask Tom. Sorry to bother you. Let me mute myself.
What's up?
I'll put some
You
questions.
know how to look, they say ask to mute.
Ask to unmute.
I'm just gonna mute you guys while you have that conversation. Okay, so the question was, is Tetwa sa uti different? And I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you the meanings, the English meanings. So Tetwasa, as a response, when the context is already around you and you just say Tetwasa, we're describing it as I'm fine. It just basically means nothing's wrong. And that's what I'll put in quotes here. Tetwasa uti is, I've heard this as it's okay. And in conversation, the way this phrase has been used to me is if I apologize for being late, my teacher might say, it's okay. Yeah, like there's nothing wrong with it. I would say is short for ute. Now, if you're talking about yourself in response to how are you, and you want to say, there's nothing wrong with me, this is where you need to add hut. So I'm okay. And so let's do all of these. Yeah. Let's practice these together so that you can practice the different options. First one, repeat after me. Tehwasa. Uh-huh. Next one, repeat after me. Tehwasa ute. Yeah.
Te
And then,
waka ute.
yeah. And then the last
ute.
good. And then the last one, repeat after me. Tleshwasa chat ute.
Te waka ute.
Yeah.
Ute.
Yeah. And so the meaning of these in English, it equates to it's okay. The literal meaning is around there's nothing wrong. So it's a negative sentence, meaning there's nothing wrong. And so the tesh tells you that it's negative. And then this word ute is the negative form of yati, which means to be. And so that's just something for you to note, that the positive form is yati, it is, and then the negative form is tlech ute, it isn't.
How come in Klesh Wasa Ute the Klesh doesn't have an I in it? Is it
Yeah,
something different?
no, it doesn't mean anything different, and thank you for the question. So the I is it's just the way speakers pronounce the word. It could be tlech, tlech, or tlech, 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 or hesh. Those are just very different ways of saying not.
So it could be the TLEIL.
I think it could, so as a learner like myself, what I would recommend to other learners is to copy what you see and hear from master speakers. And that's why I used these forms, because Johnny Mark says "tleshwa," and then I've heard from my teachers "tleshwa sa ute." And there might be a reason I don't understand why they use a shorter, longer one, but for me as a learner, I tend to go with what I've heard before. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Anna,
Yeah.
I saw that Margaret, and maybe others are unable to like unmute themselves,
Uh-huh.
and I'm not sure how to navigate that.
Okay.
When I scroll over, it says ask to unmute.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Well,
do you know how to manage that so that people can
if they have
evidently
their
they're not able to unmute herself.
okay, if they can use the raise hand icon, they'll pop up and I can see if I can do something. And then
Margaret, can you try to do a raise hand?
in the meantime, Sasha Gao. Oh, Margaret.
I
Okay.
was able to unmute, so I don't know if they got muted. But I was gonna say for
Where's Margaret?
why there's no I. I don't fully understand, but I believe it might have something to do with just how everything gets like smushed together.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only like so this would be like a verb phrase, and there's only supposed to be so many vowels.
Mm.
And with that I there would be too many vowels.
Mm. That's cool to hear. Thank you for sharing. Margaret, let me see if I can make you unmute.
Let's see,
Is that working?
Margaret's got her hand raised.
Yeah, I'm clicking ask to unmute and it's not doing anything. So if it's okay, Margaret, maybe for today, if you could type your question in the chat.
I was trying to navigate the situation. So, thank you, Anna.
Okay. You're welcome. Sorry about that. Okay. I'm just clicking buttons. I tend to go down rabbit holes once I get off on a problem solving quest, and I'm not seeing anything. Sorry.
Maybe they could log off and sign back on if they haven't tried that already.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that would work.
Thanks for helping with that. There's a question if there's a link to the class PowerPoint as well.
I want to share the PowerPoints. If it's okay, I'll share it at the end in the last 5 minutes. That way I won't see everybody's icons like jumping around everywhere because I'm like a I'm like a dog when a bird flies by. I'm like, look at that, look at that. And so if I do it at the end, then you'll all be able to view and make copies of the PowerPoint. You can have it for your notes. Um, and then you can study it. Thank you for asking.
Fantastic. Goodness,
Yeah.
cheers.
Yeah. Can I just have a reminder at the end? It's 18. Gonna cheese. Awesome. Good questions. Okay. Any more questions? Alrighty. So we talked about asking how are you and then responding I'm fine, nothing's wrong. And then I also wanted to make space for people to express actually how they feel if they feel something beyond, you know, I'm just fine. And so other options we heard so far were I'm good is what this literally means, or not good would be repeat after me. Yeah. And so this is yeah, it's the opposite of which means it's good. Means it's bad, it's not good. Yeah. And so I wanted to kind of ask you guys, what are some that you would want to hear looking at these tracks 21, 23? What pops out at you that you would like to hear?
My head hurts.
My head hurts. Good. Okay, let's do that. So we're gonna go to track 22 and we'll practice all of these. We'll just listen to Johnny and we'll practice all of them. Track 22. So before we hear Johnny, I'll say them so that we can do them a little slower speed. And the first one, go ahead and unmute and for I got an owie, repeat after me. Khatwadichun. One more time. Khatwadichun. Good. I'm hot, like it's hot out. Repeat after me. Khatkaudawasai.
But how do a sigh?
Yeah, this last sound is long and high. That's a
Sigh.
high. Yeah, sigh.
What do you kudasai?
Yeah, so let's start with the D and repeat after me. Duasai.
Sigh.
Do a sigh.
And now starting with the K, the whole word. Kauduasai.
How do a sigh?
Yeah, and then to specify it's me, I'm hot. The whole phrase, repeat after me. Khatkaudawasai.
How do a sigh?
Good. Next one, I'm tired. Repeat after me. Chetwiddichwet.
Haturi hati
Woody wet,
Hot woody wet.
woody wet.
Good. It's the TL at the end. You'll pronounce both. So your tongue will touch your teeth and then you'll breathe out the L. So starting with the XW, repeat after me. Wet.
Wet.
Good. Yeah, and then one more time the whole phrase. Chetwiddichwet. Yeah. And then the phrase requested, my head hurts. Repeat after me. Sha yanig. Good. You guys sounded good on that one. And then I'm hungry. Eat yan uaha.
Achit
Good.
Uh-huh.
Good. So now that we've had a chance to practice them slowly and break it down, I'm gonna play it for you. You can mute your mics. If you don't get your mic muted and you're practicing, it's okay. But this will just allow everyone to hear it without me having to pause. So here, track 22, yeah, here we go.
I got an owie.
Hatutichun. Hatutichun.
I'm hot.
Hatkautuasai. Hatkautuasai.
I'm tired.
Hatutichwet. Hatutichwet.
My head hurts.
Akshayanik. Akshayanik.
I'm hungry.
Achityan uwaha. Achityan uwaha.
Good. Any questions on these? So for our dialogue practice, if we wanted to pick one in response to how are you, which one should we pick? Carrie?
I noticed where it says I got or I'm hot or I'm tired, it always said it's the XAT. But when
Yeah.
it says I'm hungry, it's just AX.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is it not the XAT?
Yeah, good question. So Tlingit and English have different ways of expressing, of organizing how we feel. So I got an owie can be that it happened to me. That's why it would be the chet. Um, yeah, and then same thing for I'm hot or I'm tired. When we see the examples, my head hurts or I'm hungry, it's for my head hurts, we're saying ugh sha, ugh becomes my. So my head, ugh sha, hurts, yanik. When it comes to I'm hungry, it's a little bit different way of thinking. This is where when you hear people say that in English and Tlingit, there are just inherent different ways of thinking. This is one example. For I'm hungry, the way you could think about it is hunger arrived to me, to my eat, which I'll explain that another way, but um the way you would say to me is ach eat. Um, so the best simple answer I can give you is chet would be like me, it happened to me, and ugh would be my.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Thank you for asking. So we're going to use your example, my head hurts, for this, for our dialogue practice. And we'll type it in here. And then before we practice it, we're going to go, I saw in the chat somebody wants to learn My Spirits Are Soaring, which is a fun one. So we'll listen to that track and put it in the next one. My head hurts. My Spirits Are Soaring is a fun one. And
Track
it's
23 there.
gonna teach. So we'll practice all of these and then we'll focus on My Spirits Are Soaring. So the first one, I'm happy. Go ahead and unmute your mics and repeat after me. Ach tu sigu.
Ach,
To
Sigu.
Lagu.
Yeah, your guys' vowel lengths and tones sound really good. So that's good to hear. And then I'm sleepy. Repeat after me. Ach eat yet. Ah,
Yatawaha.
Yatawaha.
good. One more time. Ach eat yetawaha.
ach,
Yatawaha.
Yata waha.
iyatawaha.
Good. Yeah. For I'm sad, you would say, repeat after me. Ach tuwu yanik.
Ach,
Yani.
ach, tu yanik.
Make sure that you round your ending. So a W in Tlingit tells us to round our lips. And you don't see this in English where there'll be a KW at the end of a word. But in Tlingit, it makes a very different sound if you just say a K versus a rounded K. And
Wow.
yeah, elders can hear the difference and it's distracting to them if they don't hear the rounded K. So to make a rounded K or a KW, round your lips and breathe out the K. So repeat after me. Good. Good. Yeah. And so this word, go ahead and repeat this word after me. Unique.
Unique.
Good. Really good.
Anna, I see a hand raised, and also in chat there's well, questions
Okay,
of things
thank
to
you.
say.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Tu Tlatzin, I see their hand raised.
Oh,
Okay.
Gunichush.
Uh,
I just wanted to make a note that like another way that I've said that I'm sad or expressed that is like ach ach tu at udichun, which like basically means like my spirit has a wound, and sometimes to me that like expresses more of like how I'm feeling um, than just like I'm sad. So anyway, just a comment. Thank you.
yeah, thank you for sharing. Let's see. And what did we have in the chat? Hungry. Okay, cool. So, okay, so,
Thank
uh,
you for coming, please.
oh, thank you for coming. Okay.
Is another one.
Okay, so thank you for coming. We'll put it in question. Yeah. We'll practice. Okay, I saw Skinyatla typed it, and then we'll practice pronunciation as well. So thank you. Thank you for coming. So, Gonalchish Hatigude. And then Gonalchish Hat Iade. So we'll talk about these and the difference between them. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Oops. Getting fancy with the brackets. Okay, thank you all for coming. Make this a little smaller. Okay. Thank you for coming, singular. So when you want to thank someone for coming, it's a really nice way to open up a meeting, or if people are gathered together and you're asked to host. One of the first things I like to do is thank people for coming. And the way you say it to one person is going to be different from the way you say it to multiple people, because the word for walking is different for one person or animal or anyone walking versus multiple walking in a group. And that's why this last word looks different if you're talking to one person versus talking to multiple people. So one person walking, the verb root is gut. And so thank you for coming. Repeat after me. Konalchish hati gude. Yeah. And one more time. Konalchish hati gude. Good. Now, if you want to talk to multiple people, thank them for coming. Since they were a group, the word for walking is different. You're thanking them. So the second one is for plural people, and repeat after me. Konalchish hati ade. Yeah, I heard someone's Tlingit L in here sounds so good. And nice work on that. I can tell you've been working on it.
Yeah.
Any other questions about that phrase? Awesome. And we want to put my spirits are soaring. So we're going to jump back to the resource and listen to this track. We're going to listen to Johnny Mark say all these phrases we just practiced so that we can start to close that gap between the textbook Tlingit that I'm teaching you, which is your base level learning Tlingit. And then we're going to close that gap toward sounding more like our master speakers and our elders. And here we go. I'm going to hit play and then you'll read along starting here. So 3.
I'm happy.
Achtuusiku.
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 I'm sleepy.
Achitatawaha.
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 I'm sad.
Achtuuyanik. Achtuuyanik.
My spirits are soaring.
Achtuuatutekin.
Achtuuatudekin.
Achtuuatutekin.
Achtuuatudekin.
I'm grumpy.
Kis achtuuushka.
Kish
Kis achtuuushka.
achtuuushka.
I'm fine.
Kiswasa.
Cheshwasa.
Kiswasa.
Cheshwasa.
Good. You guys sounded good. I see in the question in the chat, is ute and ushke similar? So yeah, they are similar. And I'm gonna do a written comparison for you to be able to see. So the first one you asked about ute and ushke. So first of all, both of these words have to go with tlech. So it'll be a negative marker, tlech, or it could be tlech or hech. gonna take the bold off. Not. And then the questions you asked about are tlel ute and tlel ushke. So I'll put them in here. Tlel ute and tlel ushke. And then I'll also put the positive forms in here for you to compare so that you can see how they change into negative form. Yeti. It is. Tleshuti. It is not. And then we'll add the positive form. Okay. It is good. And the negative form, tleshushke, it is bad. The sh that you add to ushke, you're actually changing it. It's not quite just the negative form of yike. You're changing the word a little bit more to especially say it's bad. So it's more, I guess the way I've heard this described is tet ushke is more than just not good, it's bad. And so that's a simple way to think about it. But let's start with just the negative marker not. And go ahead and unmute your mics and repeat after me. Tesh.
Trish. Trish.
Good. And then the way we hear Johnny Mark saying it is with the EI. So repeat after me. Tleish.
Trish.
Yeah. And another way you'll hear it's said is with an H. So repeat this after me. Hesh. Yeah. Yeah. So the positive form of it is this word. Repeat after me. Yeti. Good. And the negative form, it is not. Repeat after me. Tlesh ute. Yeah. The positive form of it is good. Repeat after me. Yek. And then it's bad. Repeat after me. Tesh ushke. Yeah. So, what are some differences you notice when you go from the positive form to the negative form in yeti to tesh ute? What's something that you notice that changes here?
Yeah.
Anybody can unmute and
The
answer.
tone in the second syllable.
Yeah, that's the tone in the second syllable. So yeti is long and low in the positive form. In the negative form, it goes short and high. So that's one difference that you can hear and see that, oh, in the negative form, yeti goes to ute.
That's what I saw in it also.
Awesome. Good observation. This is a pattern you guys can start to internalize as we see more words and the negative forms. Same thing with yik for it is good. In the positive form, it's long and high. In the negative form, it goes short and high. And then another difference is ya changes to and I can't explain that one, but it's just something that I would like you to note so that as you build your patterns that you start to see in the language, you start noticing ya changes to So maybe all these things together, the tlesh and the ya changing to and the t changing to ti. Over time you're gonna start to see, oh, this is the negative form. Same thing with iyatee. In the positive form, it's ya. In the negative form, it's Good questions, you guys. And I'm glad you noticed those observations. Okay, am I caught up on questions? It's H10. Someone said it's much easier to be happy. That's okay, cool. Okay. Sorry if I'm quiet for long periods of time. I'm just reading screens and bringing my brain back in. So let's see. We practice wasa iyatee. Okay, and then we want to add in our third dialogue, my spirits are soaring. And then we're going to practice these. So for my spirits are soaring, I'm going to type it in here. Oh, it's a high tone. My spirits are soaring. Okay, do these two dialogues, and then that might be the time that we have for today. So repeat after me the top line. Wasa iyatee.
Wasa iyatee.
Yeah. And then if your head hurts, you would say, repeat after me. Good. My main elder mentor is Shakhsani Keek, Shirley Kendall. She's Kagwantan from Huna. And one of my favorite things about working with her is that if I say one of these lines and my acting isn't quite good enough, she'll have notes on my acting. She'll be like, you don't sound like your head hurts. That's why when I demonstrate, I try to really like seem like, yeah, my head hurts. So one more time with feeling, unmute and repeat after me. Good. Your pronunciation's good. Your acting is much better. Okay.
It helps when I act into it, like,
Good. That's awesome. Okay, so this other one, our next dialogue, repeat after me. Wasa iyatee.
Wasa iyatee.
And then my spirits are soaring. We'll practice the whole thing and then I'll break it down for you. So just do your best and repeat after me. Achtuwu atwudikin.
Tuwu atwudikin.
Good. So this K is underlined, which means we pronounce it in the back of our throat. And let's practice it. So repeat after me. Keen. Yeah. It's not it's gonna be nice and soft and flowy, but the area in your throat that you exercise to make that close is in the back of your throat. So starting with the W, repeat after me. Wudikin.
Woodacre.
Yeah. And so starting with ut, repeat after me. Utwudikin. Yeah. Yeah. I can hear you guys working through it and it's really good. So this is a sound that you'll have a relationship for the rest of your life. And it'll continue to or you say it. So you don't have to nail it today, but I'll keep including words that have this underlined K sound so that we can continue to practice it. And then the whole thing, repeat after me. أخطوءة Good, you guys. So next week we'll start with these dialogues in our review, and then I'm hoping to have breakout rooms since we're a big group, so y'all can practice these dialogues together in small groups and get more practice with them. And since we're close to time, I wanted to give Tin time to share about the support. What is it called, Tin? Go ahead.
Yeah, call it a hangout. Last week was calling it a support, Clinkit support, language support group. And yeah, it was nice. Just a few of us were in the room together and were able to talk out a few things. And then we watched a video. Because it just sort of like, where's the conversation going to take us? So it was really nice. And I did put the link in the chat for anyone who would like to join. If I have your email, I could just send you the link to the invite for right after class. So it's from 11:30 to 12:30, but also I'll start the meeting, but just allow grace for people to go and do their bio breaks or, you know, grab their tea or that sort of thing.
I believe you have my email, correct?
And I sent you the link. Yep. I got you on there, Carrie.
And the link is, oh,
one other person asked, oh yeah, and then the PowerPoint reminder, the link to the PowerPoint. Thank you, Andreas. Here I got a note right in front of me and forgot to mention it.
Thank you.
I'm really glad you dropped that into the chat.
I'm gonna do it right now. Thank you for the reminder.
Sounds good, Kara.
Copy link.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna put it in the chat right now.
And I will add you to the meeting right now. Here.
I had a question if somebody might know. We're making some shirts for our little kid dancers. And one of the things that we do is we say hoo-ha. And I was wanting to try to get the accurate spelling with the asterisks or anything that I might need to put on it.
Is there any hyphens on it? I think it's just HOOHAA.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, never seen it written, but hoo-ha. Yeah.
Hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha. Oh God, you ain't gonna
Yeah,
get it going.
that's what.
People over here now, all those people.
It sounds like there's a high tone on the ha on the second
That's
A.
what I thought.
No.
I was
sound
thinking
like
because the kids like to do exactly what just happened right there.
Yeah.
They like to do that when they get excited, and so this summer they'll be dancing for tourists, and I'm gonna put on the backs of their shirts to surprise them. I'm gonna put that on there, and I just want to make sure I put it correctly. So it's just HOOHAA. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Two separate words, probably hoo and ha.
Yeah, and I know we talked about it before, and maybe at some point, I did write out our songs, and like I was saying, it's kind of like a reverse Tlingit, because it's in Tlingit that we're trying to get to English.
We can talk more about this. You guys can do it in the support group and we can talk more about it next week. I have to hop off because I teach another Zoom class on this link. But Janae, thank you for your work. And I feel proud of you guys. So see you again, see you
Bye.
See you next week.